2 Peter chapter 2. But false prophets also rose up among the people, just as also among you there will be false teachers, who will secretly bring in heresies of ruin, also denying the sovereign Lord who purchased them, bringing on themselves swift ruin. And many will follow their lusts, because of whom the path of truth will be blasphemed. And prompted by greed, they will make merchandise of you with fabricated words, for whom the judgment from of old is not idle, and their ruin will not slumber. For if God did not spare sinning messengers, but in chains of darkness consigned them to being swallowed underground, having been reserved for judgment, and he did not spare the ancient world, but the eighth, Noah, a proclaimer of righteousness, he preserved, bringing in a flood on a world of the ungodly, and cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, having reduced into ashes, he condemned with a catastrophe, establishing an example for those intending to live it out in an ungodly manner. And righteous Lot, worn down among lasciviousness of the behavior of the lawless, he rescued, for that righteous man, in seeing and hearing, living among them, tested with the touchstone his righteous mind from day to day with unlawful works. Then the Lord knows how to deliver out of a trial those ruled by godliness, but to reserve the unrighteous for a day of judgment, being punished, but most of all, those taking themselves off in pursuit of flesh in lust of defilement and despising sovereignty. Daring, self-willed, they do not tremor at speaking evil about preeminent dignitaries, whereas messengers, being superior in strength and power, do not bring against them before the Lord a slandering accusation. But these, as brute beasts, destitute of reason, having been born for captivity and corruption, speaking evil things in which they are ignorant, will perish utterly in their corruption, being about to receive wages of unrighteousness, esteeming a pleasure dissolute living in the daytime, stains and blemishes, reveling in their own deceivings, feasting along with you, having eyes full of an adulteress, and not ceasing from sin, beguiling unstable people, having a heart exercised in fraud, sons of curse. Having abandoned a right path, they went astray, following in the way of Balaam, son of Beor, who loved wages of unrighteousness, but had rebuke for his own wickedness. A dumb donkey speaking in a voice of a man restrained the madness of the prophet. These are fountains without water, clouds driven along by a storm, for whom is reserved the gloom of darkness throughout the eon. For, speaking extravagances of vanity, they allure by lusts of flesh, in unbridled cravings, those escaping clean from those going about in delusion, promising them freedom, themselves being servants of corruption. For anybody by whom he has been subdued, to him also he has been enslaved. For if, having escaped the defilements of the world through knowledge of the Lord and of the Savior Jesus Christ, but having again been entangled by them, they are overcome, it has become worse for them in the last things than in the first things. For it would have been better for them not to have known the path of righteousness than, having known, to have turned back from the holy commandment delivered to them. But for them has come about the word of the true proverb, a dog turned back to its own vomit, and a washed sow to her rolling place in mud.